as we talk about this uncertainty across the globe right now and the influx of AI and how that's changing business, we wanted to reach out to someone who runs a very large business that can be impacted by all of these factors about how they are navigating this and looking to success for the future. We want to talk to Christian Ulbrich. He's the president and global CEO of JLL. Now, this is a 243-year-old company. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
You have offices in 80 countries, over 100,000 employees, and you have been CEO since 2016.
That's true.
It's not been a very calm decade. How has that time passed? I mean, you guys mostly deal with real estate, and what comes to mind obviously first is COVID and the office drain. But I was looking at some numbers that were saying that's kind of rebounded, especially for premium corporate real estate in cities like New York. So tell us how it's going.
Well, it's going really well for us. And with regards to the tenure you're talking about, I had time to get used to all the global disruptions, which is hitting us.
What was harder? I mean, what have the hardest bits been for you? Was it COVID? Was it the current global uncertainty? What were the things that stand out as moments where you really had to reevaluate not only your business, but your leadership style?
It was clearly COVID, when we were all forced to stay home, and to run the company out of your home office was an interesting experience. And at the beginning, we thought that would be over within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But then it was taking very long. And you know, we have a lot of shared service centers, and we do payments on behalf of our clients. So when that happened, that we all had to stay home, I was thinking about all my colleagues in India who have to go home and then execute payments in the amounts of billions every day on behalf of our clients. And I was a bit nervous, but it went well. But we learned a lot from that experience.
What did you learn?
Well, you know, having resilience in an organization, having the trust of the people, and confidence in the organization is very important. And I think you have to understand that the world has become so complex that you cannot run it on your own, a company like this. So you have to rely on a super strong team, and you have to let go.
Is that hard? I mean, I'm a bit of a control freak. Is it hard sometimes to let go, or is that something you're getting better at?
I think I really learned that. I was quite young when I got into my first leadership position. At the time, I was more than like you, a control freak. But when the organizations grew bigger, I had to learn that you have to let go and that you have to surround yourself with an excellent team. And so I think I was quite prepared for that. But still staying home was hard.
I want to ask you about how things are doing. We've got some numbers. National leasing demand has recovered within 85% of pre-pandemic levels, and that's driven by demand for high-quality premier office space. How do you define that, and what are the places where you're seeing this real estate rebound and commercial real estate do really well?
Well, you can see the best buildings in every city, because that is a global story, are doing extremely well. Okay. We are going from record rent levels to record rent levels for the best buildings here in New York, but everywhere. And so that is even better than pre-2019, or 2019 was the record year. Why it's only 85%, it's that the what we would call the B locations, B buildings, are still not there where they were in 2019, but the best buildings are far ahead of the levels of 2019.
Why do you think that is? Is it because so many people, I mean, including our neighbor JP Morgan, Bloomberg isn't back to office, people are being told go back to work, and in order to get people back to work, they need nice offices? Or is it just what corporations want?
Well, you know, somebody introduced that theme of the K-shape economy.
Yes, we talk about that a lot here at Bloomberg.
But you can use that word K for almost everything now, because you have a situation that the best companies are clearly outperforming their competitors. Yeah. And the best companies have the ambition to provide the best possible space for their colleagues. And so there's almost a race to bring the people into the best buildings. I mean, the Bloomberg building was setting an example when it was created.
It's a very nice building.
It's a very nice building. But, you know, every new, very nice building, there's almost a race for companies who want to get into that building. And this is what is really interesting. This is everywhere. It is in Sydney, it's in the US, it's in Europe. You can go wherever you want to go. It's the same story.
I want to ask how AI is disrupting or enhancing what you do. How have you seen it? When did you really start to see it make a difference, either good or bad, in your business, and how are you using it, and is it helping?
Yeah, I mean, I have been literally paranoid about that topic for many, many years, and you have to, because if it is a threat to your organization, then you have to be on top of it very early on. For now, it is clearly a tailwind for us because we are very people-intensive organization, and it drives efficiency into our platform. That means we can grow revenues very significantly without adding a lot of new headcount.
Okay.
Now, we're also watching, could that be something which is a risk to us? And the risk could be on two sides. It could be that overall, jobs are being lost, and therefore there's less space for us to take care of going forward because our clients have less space needs.
Oh,
so that is for us the bigger topic.
Because every job cut is a desk you don't need anymore.
Potentially, yes. And then it could also be, is there anything coming which would potentially disintermediate us in some of our services? For now, we see nothing on either of those two. So I have to say for now, it's clearly a tailwind. But we're obviously very much on the front foot to see whether that may change. And at some point, there are also a couple of headwinds coming to us.
Have you gotten any pushback internally from within the organization? Is there any place you've tried to implement AI where your employees or leadership has said, this really doesn't work?
I wouldn't say that we had pushback, but the pushback would be actually almost positive, because then you know who is kind of undermining your effort. What is much more dangerous are those people who are nodding and saying that's a great idea, and then they return back to their desk and then they do whatever they can that it is not happening. So I like people to be upfront saying they don't like it. But so far, I would say people are fascinated, because it becomes now, through all these kind of Claude, ChatGPTs, it becomes now a citizen thing.
Yeah.
And so they are playing around with those tools for themselves in their leisure time, and they are fascinating what it can do, and they want to have it in their professional life as well. So for the time being, I think the majority of people are fascinated by it. Now, they're also concerned, but frankly, within JLL, the advantage they have that we are a fast-growing organization, and even if we drive efficiency, that doesn't necessarily mean that jobs will be lost within our organization. They may change, but they may not be lost.
I also want to ask you about your climate initiative.
Yeah.
I heard this is something you're passionate about and want to talk about.
Yeah, people always think that this is something really special. I would say it's just common sense.
Okay.
We need to save energy because it makes sense from a business perspective. And the proof of the last couple of weeks is, again, there that when energy prices are going up, that's a cost factor for many organizations. And so we try so hard to reduce cost and be super efficient everywhere. It makes a lot of sense to be it also on the energy side. And then you have a double win. You're saving money and you are less polluting the world. And then we can debate what impact that pollution has, but clearly it has an impact. And if we can reduce that impact, I think that makes a lot of sense.